Good morning. Now we're here today with Jamie, and I'll throw it over to you to introduce yourself.
G'day everyone, my name's Jamie Stedman. I am 49 years old. I've been working in the mindset and mental health space now for quite a few years. Started as my journey kind of began back to front. I was a prison officer for quite a long time, and I saw how difficult it was for people to get help, both in the system and obviously what led them to being there in the first place. Then I had my own pretty serious health scare. It was, long story short, I was in a coma for 3 months in 2009. I survived that. The doctors don't know how, but then my mental health spiraled as a result, to the point where I was having some pretty deep, serious suicidal thoughts. I got lucky and found my way out of that hole. And it just led me here, basically. A long way around. I'm a mental health first aid facilitator. I coach in businesses. I run one-on-one sessions with a group out of New Zealand who has clients all over the globe. So I get to talk about this stuff in different varieties pretty much every single day, for hours sometimes.
Fantastic. We need more people like you in the world. Let's skill up the community. No, fabulous. And no doubt you are making a difference in the community, in all the communities you've touched throughout your work. So very nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice thing. Thank you, Ali.
Not a problem. Now, as part of this campaign, I'm asking initially for individuals to just self-reflect. Can you share just one thing that you yourself do as a mental health tactic to help you when you feel like sometimes your plate might be a bit full, or you can really tell that your mental health may be starting to be affected? What's a tactic that has helped support you?
Do you know what? And it's not easy. It's never easy. It's never black and white. All of those things. There's always grey areas and the what ifs and all that sort of stuff. And of course, there's been a pandemic chucked at us just for fun. So the biggest one for me, this is only something I've learned in the last few years, is simply acceptance of where I'm at, rather than the worry and stress of I should be doing this and I should be doing that and I shouldn't feel this way and I should feel happy. And, that's just such bullshit. It's a really heavy weight to put on ourselves. You should. Why should you? It's okay to be where you are right now. It's going to change. The sun will come up tomorrow. It'll give you another opportunity and we get to start again. So acceptance and feel. I had some pretty serious survivor's guilt back when I come out of the coma, and it took a couple of years, probably 3 years, to really start to dissipate once I started to accept where I was and who I was, which was not, all the shoulds. You should do this and you should feel that and it should make you feel better about things. Once I removed that, and I just learned to accept who I was, where I was, and even feeling bad, because sometimes that's okay. Do you know what, Ali? If we don't feel bad, how can we remember what feeling good feels like?
Yeah, for sure. One thing that resonates me from what you just said is, sometimes it takes a couple of years. Working with children and young people in this space, we find it's like, oh, I have anxiety, fix it. Well, it's a journey. We may have it for years.
It really is.
Something that can be easily
and it's just as important to remember that you don't have to be okay with where you're at. Like, you don't have to be happy because you're locked down, or happy because you're in a shitty job, or a rough relationship, or in a bad situation. You don't have to be happy with that. But you do have to accept that this is where I'm at right now.
Very
and feel
wise.
it. That's been for me in particular very helpful.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Now, the second question is, what is a message of hope So it very much comes from the inside of, we've all overcome so many things and we are now stronger here today because of that. But just imagine if there is someone that is in the eye of the storm now. So many, for example, who are in lockdown, may be experiencing mental health issues for the first time ever in their life, and they may be really scared with it because all of a sudden their brain's starting to control some of those symptoms or signs that are popping up. But what message of hope do you have that you would like to share with our audience today that could be some insight that you've gained?
It's a big question.
Isn't
it's a big question. It really is. So, we get told, oh, just look on the bright side. And it's like, oh man, that's so not helpful. That didn't help anybody. It never has. It's like, oh, okay, fix, beauty. But the one thing I urge people to remember is that feeling bad, feeling overwhelmed means you can feel still.
Yeah.
And that means you're human. That means you're alive. That means you're breathing. That means you've got a chance to be better tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And that, I know it sounds really simplified, but I personally think that just, hand on heart sometimes is just, okay, there it is. There's my heart. Cool.
Yeah.
Now let's just get through today.
You kind of mentioned feelings in the last two questions, the first one and this one. And I guess I just wanted to share, I have come from trauma background, etc. And I celebrate when I feel, because sometimes my body's defenses has protected me and it made me numb, or I've run away from that for so long that I don't want to feel it. But, when there have been moments where I've remembered, hang on, this is still part of my healing and I'm going to be in this space where I'm going to feel it. It certainly has passed.
It's so important. It really is. And everyone goes, what do you mean feeling? Of course I can feel. Well, we don't. We're taught to, especially the whole toxic masculinity, don't feel, because then you're not going to expose, your weaknesses, in inverted commas, to other people. But, the darkness leads to light. The feeling bad teaches us what feeling good feels like, and we get to celebrate that. And the more we celebrate that, the more we'll learn to feel good.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a really powerful thing to practice. Sorry, I love the idea of looking back. We've all been through these moments previously, and we've all survived them. We forget that in itself is a celebration, something to be amazed in, proud of, happy with. Absolutely. And that we can do it again.
And in these COVID times, I mean, as crappy as it is, what a fantastic opportunity to live resilience, and learn resilience wherever we're at.
That's the problem with resilience, Ali. There's only one way to learn it.
For sure.
It's to deal with hardship, with moments of discomfort, and survive them, and notice that you've survived them, and notice that out the other side of the toughness was joy. And when we can reflect on those joyful moments, we remember that we're not stuck, and that's nice. Now I bet you can hear my dogs going off.
That's
I apologize.
Okay. Not a problem. I mean, that's what Zoom is in these remote worlds, right? We have our family lives and animals that are part of our lives. So not a problem. Now, just moving on to the last question that I will ask you. This is a suicide prevention initiative, and I know the word suicide is taboo, etc. Some people are really uncomfortable talking about it. My question is just, some are coming to this campaign with direct lived experience. Some are actually coming who have supported those who have gone through suicide ideation, etc. The insights that we're trying to get is, do you have anything to share with us in terms of if suicide ideation has presented, what are some really helpful steps that have actually helped assist, breaking that cycle? Because those moments sometimes can be preventable, and sometimes it is about listening and supporting others, but each to their own journey. Do you have any insights that you would like to share about your own personal experience or helping support others that could be helpful to this campaign?
I guess it's probably easier for all of us if we do it from our personal perspective, because we're humans, we're autonomous, and we've all got our own prejudice and biases. We all feel that will either resonate with me or it won't. So I simply like to talk about how I managed to get through my moments.
Yeah.
And if that helps someone, that's really cool. And I hope that it does. So I was dealing with crazy survivor's guilt. We had my little girl was, 6 weeks old at the time. I literally got out of hospital, out of the coma, etc. And I was, she was born 3 days later. So I was, I was pretty full on. And she was a screaming maniac. Unfortunately, she was all the bad things you hear about babies, and then some, by the way. Anyway, 6 weeks later, I realised I'm feeling pretty bad. I start feeling sorry for myself. I don't realise what's going on because I was a big tough prison officer. This isn't me. And I was driving to an appointment, and I actually took my seatbelt off and thought I'd just drift into the oncoming traffic. And that's not like me, because I normally think about other people a bit. And the thing that stopped me was the appointment. I didn't want to let that person down. I wanted to keep that appointment, which is very odd. And I got lucky. She's somebody I connected with. And there's my point, connection. I managed to connect with somebody who just listened. And that's the big one, is each and every one of us have someone around us that will listen. We just got to find it within us to reach out and connect. It's hard. And I don't know that that's the answer, but it helped me.
Yeah, no, like it may seem like such a simple step, but these moments are pivotal. That's the wrong word. Pivotal, right? They're pivotal moments in people's lives that can make a difference. And we may not realize all the time how powerful a conversation can be. And sometimes we need to change that physiological state or change that thought process, and just turning up, sometimes just connecting, can certainly be a great opportunity for that. Fantastic. Now, this is my last question to you, is if anyone is interested in getting in touch with you, you mentioned you do mental health first aid training. How can they reach out to you?
JamieStedman.net.
Beautiful.
Is the easiest way. On all the socials as well. But yeah, it's it's something I don't take lightly. When we coach in this space, when we mentor in this space, and certainly when we have deep and meaningful conversations with people. The key to me was the lady I was going to see, she literally said, "What's up?" and then waited for me to answer. Yeah, right. It wasn't a rhetorical question. And of course, because of that, she got the double barrels. Yeah. Quite literally, I just spilled. And that was such a big weight. That made me realize I wasn't well, took myself off to the GP, and the process began. Yeah, and it's so important. We often tell children and young people in that school space, hey, like, you actually have to tell us what's going on, because sometimes we cannot just read your mind. We can try and hide it, but you need to be able to communicate it so that we can actually get help out there. Brilliant. Absolutely. So yeah, find someone to connect with, and have that talk. Yeah. Thank you so much for your insights here today. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for being part of this campaign, and I look forward to promoting your story for the rest of the series. Thanks, Ali. It was my pleasure. Not a problem. Bye for now.